Hey guys, I'm Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net. Welcome back to this vlog. So it's been a little bit slower these days on the website, but I wanted to create a follow-up vlog on a recent video. In the recent video, which I'll post here or here, it's called 7 Levels of A7, where with a student I went over, oh, this is an A7 chord, and now let's go over plain Mixolydian, followed by all the alterations, all the way up to the altered scale, the whole tone scale, diminished scale, and how to apply those in improv. Now in this video, I got a lot of emails for this. So in this video, what I want to do is say, you know, you're here at plain vanilla, and you could get all the way up to here, or vice versa, with altered and whole tone and this and that. But how about you start where you are and you just get a hint of a starting point into what you could alter, and I'll give you sort of the hints here. So there's really 3 main things I want to do. First off, I want to let you know I've already done this in a blog a while back, 5 years ago. I said, well, start with the flat 9 and then add the scale and do this, and here's how to alter chords, and I'll post the link here as well. So here's the approach. The chord we're looking at is an A7. All right, and again, at the heart of my approach in the whole teaching business on the website, it's always been find your shells. So this is the root, this is the 7, this is the 3rd. And the progression we will use, we could use 2 different progressions, but I'll show you which one I'm using here. It's C, so C major 7, or C6 9, or C major 9, or whatever, or this guy. So C to A7, to D minor 7, to G7. So it's a 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. You could also, if you wanted, you could do 2, 5, 1, 6. That also works, but I'll start with the C one. I'd like to go 1, 6, 2, 5, because that's closer to rhythm changes. Now, what happens with the A7 chord is that your starting point, most likely as a jazz player, is that you'll be playing in C major and go, ugh, what's happening with that A7? And then pick up any book, any teacher, a neighbor sold book, whatever, they will tell you, well, play a Mixolydian. So this is like playing A major, right, with a flat 7. So instead of playing A major scale, you play a G natural instead of a G sharp. So, and that does work, and you can do this on 2 octaves, of course. You can find different fingerings for doing that. It doesn't really matter where you play it, so long as those 7 notes are present. So in our previous video with the student, where I go through 7 level, that's sort of level 0, ground floor. This is just pure Mixolydian. It does work, but does not work as well as what I'm about to present to you, which is, again, there's 3 options. So option number 1, you can conceive of the A7 by thinking of Mixolydian with a flat 6, and a flat 6 would mean an F natural note. So take the time to process this. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That note, you make it flat. So a higher octave. Flat 6 is the same as 13, flat 13. So you get this sound as people would sometimes call a sharp 5 sound. So that's used for chord melody, that's used for comping, that's used for improvising. So let's hear the progression. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do this again. You can even do this end. So if you start to improvise with this, I'll give you the workaround is, you play scales like Barry Harris style, go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then take the next one. Don't forget now that F is now F natural. And then D, Dorian, which is the same as C major, and then G Mixolydian. So one round of this would be sound like this, 3, 4, pretty basic. And then we could do a higher octave version to D Mixolydian, G. So if you can't do this yet, that's like your first order of business. People say, well, yeah, I want to learn more arpeggios. Yeah, of course, like, that works. You can learn arpeggios all days, you can learn your scales, etc. But the being able to play a stream of consecutive 8 notes matters quite a lot in jazz. It's pretty important to be able to do that. So start there, and then see if you can make up a little solo by just using these scales. And I'll give you my second solution next. All right, so let's just improvise to see how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's beautiful, right? Because just changing that one note, instead of thinking of a Mixolydian pure like this, just making that F, it's like it smooths it out, and it's much closer to, I explained this in the previous video with my students, it's the D melodic minor of destination. So you take your A7 and you change one note, just that one note, and it's much better. The second step, and I'll get to the third step in a moment. Second step is to go, let me do a flat 6, like we've done, and add to this another one, do a flat 2. So 1, 2. Recall, that's a pure Mixolydian. Or here. And now what you want to do to it is flat the 2 and flat the 6. So 1, 2, 3. And you've probably heard the like Middle Eastern Spanish sort of sound. That's harmonic minor of destination. So this is the same as playing D minor harmonic, but starting with an A. That's your next step for improvising. So instead of, being on a plain vanilla A7 and going all the way, I want to use the altered scale, I want to use it. You can just start by tweaking one note and then maybe tweaking a second note, and then you're it. You get this beautiful altered sound that you can just carry. So I think I'm not going to go through the whole mental gymnastics, but here's what you should be doing. Number one, you should be doing your chords. Now realize that's a 13, flat 13. The note, if you said flat 2, that's flat 9. So you get a flat 13, flat 9 chord. How easy is this? I cut my finger yesterday, and even with that cut finger, I can do that super altered chord. It's like, ow. Can't push on my cut too much because maybe I need stitches. We'll see. So this is an amazing chord, and it just takes 2 fingers, and it's A7, flat 13, flat 9. So C major 9, A7, flat 13, flat 9, and then whatever brand of D minor to G7 you want to do, right? So you run the scales. I'll let you do your homework. You know what you have to do. Run your arpeggios, run your modes, run the licks, run your... I know some students are a fan of, surrounding the chord tones. You can do all of this. You can do your bebop scales. You can do anything that works, that makes sense. And then improvise. See how you can use the shells to direct your scalar work and play in that scale that's now 2 notes away from your A pure Mixolydian plain vanilla. Let's improvise a little bit how it sounds. A 1, a 2, a 2. Very classic, typical jazz sound. And now for dessert, here's our, oh yeah, I should have told you this before. If you like those videos, please subscribe to the channel. The team has been on a hiatus for the summer, but if there's anything that you're looking for, chord melody, improv, comping, playing on standards, you can find all of this on this YouTube channel and way more on the blog, which is over at jazzguitarlessons.net. And yeah, I'll see you there. So please subscribe and like this video. And the last thing for dessert is, if you take back our first solution, which was to take A7 and make that F become an F natural, and you relate this back to the key of C major. What I love to do with students is just change one thing at a time. So check this out for dessert. Bonus. Let's take this progression and make it diatonic. So in the key of C, the A is minor, so it's an A minor 7 to D minor 7. So that's even more plain vanilla, getting an A minor here, right? So instead of having an A minor, we have an A7. But if you look at the only thing that needs to change in the C major scale is change that C note to a C sharp. Sounds super odd, right? You play the C major scale, but instead of playing a C natural, you play a C sharp. And that gives you our solution for the A7 flat 6 or flat 13. So that's C major, right? And then go, keep all the other notes the same, but make that C a sharp. That's so easy. And it gives you your A7. Not only that, but now that's you all agree that's C major. Right? Change that note to that note. And now here you're playing, maybe you don't know you are, but you are playing D melodic minor for free. C major and D melodic minor are one note away, and that's C sharp. So I'll give you the quick, I said bonus, but that's it. Whoop, drop my pick right back in my pick jar. Amazing. That was pretty awesome. So I have this tiny pick jar, and I threw my pick in the air involuntarily, and it landed back on the pot. First time ever. Awesome. I'll give you a sort of a Barry Harris trick that's as old. It's an old trick in the book. So go up the C major scale to the 7th and back down. And when you land, instead of landing on C, land on C sharp. And that's your scale work. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then since you have a D minor and a G7, Barry Harris would tell you, well, the D minor and the G7 is 2, 5. Just think of just a 5. So then G Mixolydian. So let's see how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. That's the progression. Melodically, that's what's happening. So now, of course, do you want to do your patterns like? Yeah, of course. You want to do your patterns. You want to do your arpeggios. You want to do triplets. You want to do this. Do that. Of course. But the foundation of the harmony in my bonus lesson is like, look at this. You're in the key of C, and you get an A7 chord that is seemingly unrelated. The A7 is going to the D minor. It's going to the 2. And all you have to do to get to that A7 chord is take your C major scale and change one note. So you don't even need to go all the way and think of A Mixolydian. I only started there because it's known that a dominant chord needs a Mixolydian. But even then you don't need to do it. So it's almost like you get this 4 chord progression, and all the notes and all the chords and all the scalar work would all pertain to C major, but on the A7 make the C a C sharp note, and then you have the appropriate scale, which is also D melodic minor, which is also A7 flat 13, of course. But then it's just ways of keeping common tones. I've done this in a lesson on playing on fast chord changes, right? It was a progression like. I'm like, you have to find a common tone, so in any context, you can find the notes that are common that stay the same, and then find the notes that change, and that is what you want to outline at the point of chord change. On that note, that was a quickie lesson on following up, so you can go back and listen to that A7 and 7 levels, because it's sort of a brainiac thing of looking at all the possibilities, but in your playing, which I didn't do with Steve really. The important thing is to start with where you are, add one tiny variations, or variations like 2 notes like now, and just improvise on it and see what you can come out of it, and see if you can hear it before going all the way to playing the altered scale, the whole tones, and the diminution, and all these things. On that note, thanks for watching, guys. My name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar playing with a real teacher, with a real beard, hopefully soon. And I will see you soon on the website. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.